Hello, Crystal Honeycutt here with True Nature Consulting. I have a moment before my next client gets here and I thought I would make a little video, even though I don't really want to make the video. That's the reason why I'm pushing myself to do it. You see, I do not feel good today, and it's hard to admit it when I make my whole living and I feel like my gifts that I offer to the world are helping people feel better, especially those living with chronic illness. And the truth is I live with chronic illness too. I have chronic problems with asthma, I have chronic adrenal issues, and I continue to have um, gut issues that come and go. So, yes, I have low days just like you have low days. And that's why I feel like this video is important. I want you to know that all of us living with some form of chronic illness have low days. And it doesn't mean that we're backsliding. It doesn't mean that we're always going to feel as low as we can go. We always have a way to move up and to restabilize. But yes, part of living with chronic illness is having low days and being able to accept those as part of your life experience. I appreciated getting to watch a little video on Instagram today from a friend of mine, Jaime Powell. Her Instagram name is Jamie1Love, so check her out, who bravely put up her own video discussing how she had a pretty significant crash in her energy and her own inner awareness after coming out of a very intense creative time. And I appreciated that because I too can correlate my own dip in my health coming out of a really dynamic and creative time as well. So when you live with chronic illness, your energy is a huge factor in every single part of your life. It is that way for me too. So it was helpful for me to acknowledge that, sure, it makes sense that I could have a dip coming out of this really fun, inspirational breakthrough period that I just had for myself. It's also good for me to make sure that I am doing my own self-care. When you don't feel good, the last thing you want to do is break out all of your stuff and start, you know, medicating, for lack of a better word, yourself. Okay. um, I want to have someone else take care of me. And I'm not the greatest pill taker in the world, so that's another secret I'm sharing. But good habits really do reinforce good health. And so I immediately, when I felt myself coming into this dip, which has actually been about 3 days now, started upping the herbs, started being much more mindful about the foods I'm eating. And this is the time that I'm most vulnerable to want to eat those really easy go-to convenience foods. And it is the very worst time for me to do it because it just increases my systemic inflammation load that's already trying to get out of control. Um, I'm feeling really tired, and I have to remind myself that I must rest. Those of us who live in these bodies that are teaching us really powerful soul growth things through our physical process, we have to be easy on ourselves. We have to listen to our bodies, even when we're mentally or energetically really frustrated that, hey, I want to be out in the world today, I want to be connecting today, but instead my body is saying to me that I must rest. So that is not something that you should feel ashamed about. And it's even helpful sometimes to communicate with key people in your life about those needs. It's not an indication that you yourself are deficient, but that there are aspects of your health that do need more attention than perhaps other people live with within their own experience. So really good self-awareness is the major piece of this. Knowing or having a sense of why you're hitting your dips is a really important thing. That's one of the primary skills that I work on with my clients in the clinic, is trying to understand or perhaps even anticipate when you're going to have your dips. So being aware of that helps you to really be proactive in being able to buffer the effects of the dips. Having good self-care practices already in place, immediately accessible. There are no excuses. If you have good healthy food on hand, you're probably not going to feel like going out anyway, so you might as well pop open that yummy dish that you've made when you were feeling good and just rewarm it up and nurture yourself that way. Looking at other ways to nurture yourself through creativity or relaxation, or sitting down with that book that you've been meaning to read. This is a good time to allow yourself to sink into the underground, to get revitalized and get renourished. And I'm lucky enough to be able to go over to my mom's house for dinner tonight. She offered to make me dinner, and I'm going to take her up on it. I love being with my mom, but I'm also very stubbornly self-sufficient, and a lot of times my dips are indicating that I need to let other people support me as well. So here was my share for the day. I'm not perfect. I'm a human being just as you are, even with all of my knowledge and all of the ways that I have easily available to support myself. I still have the highs and lows. That, I think, is part of the illness process itself. So this is me empathizing with you, sharing my own story, and hopefully helping you understand the things that I reach to help regain my own equilibrium, and also just reassuring to you that we all have to practice this. We are all practicing living an embodied life. And for some of us, that's easier than others. It doesn't matter. It's all our own individual walk. You are still fine. You are progressing perfectly just as I am. And sometimes our body makes sure we're doing what we really need to do to be embodied, but also to take good care of ourselves. So thank you very much, and I'll see you on the other side of this. Bye.